Do not attempt to adjust your set. This is a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin. It cannot be stopped, and it is the only free voice left on the net.
Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. In today's Skyrim mod showcase on the PS4, which does require a mod in order for today's showcase to mod function, which is called Simple Workaround Framework, which was created by the mod author awildtommaspsn, we'll be taking a look at the mod Follower Commentary Overhaul. What this mod does is greatly expands the follower commentary to give them additional dialogue using vanilla-only resources, kinda in the vein of the modded character Indigo, a follower that, as far as I'm aware, for those wondering, we still do not have access to here on PlayStation. Now, this mod, from my testing, is fully compatible with the other follower dialogue overhauls that I've previously showcased. Those dialogue overhauls will be off for this video, so that you only hear what this mod has to produce. And for those wondering, I had placed those mods before this mod in my load order, and then the Serana dialogue overhaul that I just showcased was placed after it. However, Serana does not get any additional dialogue from this mod, at least not as far as I can tell, so you could place this after it if you would like in the load order, and I don't see any issue with that. With all of that out of the way, let's see how to find today's showcased mod. So the main mod that we'll be taking a look at today is currently in the latest category. However, if you do not already have it, it requires a separate mod in order to be functional, which it needs to have downloaded first, called Simple Workaround Framework. Bring up the search function with L1, and then type in Simple Workaround to the search bar. Should get it to come right up. The name of it is Simple Workaround Framework. This was created by the mod author awildtommaspsn. Please make certain to read the mod description for this in its entirety before you choose to download and install this into your load order. Once you do download it and install it into the load order, it will auto-place itself at the top of the load order. For me, it has placed it right here. Now, according to the mod description, it is supposed to go if you have the unofficial patch higher up. In fact, it's supposed to be directly underneath it. However, in my experience, I let these type of files place themselves and I do not move them. So that is what I am suggesting, but you do you. Once you have the required mod downloaded and enabled, you can then go ahead and download today's showcased mod, which is right here, and you can also find by bringing up the search function with L1 and then typing in follower SWF to the search bar. Should get the mod to come up. Name of it is Follower Commentary Overhaul, FCO SWF. This was ported to PlayStation by mod author FM07_2 and credits to mod author Terzaerian. The mod description in part reads, a mod which injects new life into the Vanilla Followers of Skyrim by greatly expanding their repertoire of idle, conditional commentary after the fashion of the Indigo follower, using only vanilla resources. Now please, as always, make certain to read the mod description for both of these mods in their entirety before you choose to download and install them. So once you have the mods downloaded and enabled, currently my followers are in there because they're very talkative and I didn't want to get interrupted to show you this part. We're able to configure how the mod functions because of Simple Workaround Framework. Bring up the magic section, head over to your powers category, and you are looking for this right here, mod options menu. This is Simple Workaround Framework's menu. Go ahead and equip it to your power button and hit it. Now for you, it could be at a separate spot. I only have that particular mod installed, so for me it is on the number 2 slot, which is Follower Commentary Overhaul, Configure Voice Types and Commentary Frequency. Go ahead and click on this, and you'll see the options are right here. For female voice types, you can toggle. You'll see that default these are enabled, and you can toggle one of them by selecting who you want to toggle off, like a commander voice type. Toggle it again, back on, and hit the next page. For the female, it seems that everything is set default enabled. However, when it comes to the male character voice types, you'll find that several of them are disabled by default. I do not know if this is because there is a limit to how many voice types can be enabled for the male and female characters. I have not tested that. If you do decide to download and install this, please use the proper modding procedures and make certain that your save is backed up beforehand. To change the frequency at which they comment, because at the default 100% they will comment quite a lot, you can use the negative numbers to drop it down. So for example, 75. Drop it down by just a little bit. Say if you want to go to 65 like this. You can also default it back to 100 using the default option. The plus numbers that you see are only to raise it up if dropping it down and not defaulting it to 100, but you cannot go past 100. Once you have made your changes, select exit, and now the changes are locked in. So my followers are currently in the house because otherwise I would not have been able to got any of that out. They are talking quite a lot as I have everything set up at default, so let's go in and hear what they have to say. Now keep in mind with some of the voice types, occasionally they sound a little robotic sounding.
I think by now I've killed one of every living thing in Skyrim.
The wise trader.
Maybe time for a trip to Morrowind.
Even if
You know,
he
I'm
must
starting to
travel
wonder
far
about
to
you.
find them.
There's much to be done.
So you can see with the amount of followers that I have and having it set at 100, they're kind of all talking over each other. Some followers don't seem to be affected though, like Kiana, which is a modded Khajiit female follower, and she has not said anything with
The
it.
heat of the battle is
This
the
is her-
fire that forges the strongest blades. It's an old
This is her
Nord
voice
proverb.
type normally,
I've got your back.
which I would think would be supported by the
You
mod,
lead.
but she
I'll
has not
follow.
said anything.
This is a cold,
Neither has
hard
Serana.
land.
It doesn't seem to add anything new for her. Right now Serana is vanilla. However, you can use the mod that I briefly showcased for Serana to give her dialogue with this. In fact, you can use it. Sure, now you gotta stop talking when I start again. You can use it with any of them, as I have tested this
Jezargo can
with
learn
Lydia.
magic from these
No
men and
place
elves,
is safe
but they
for a
cannot
true
learn
lord
to be as
never
dashing
fears
as he.
It's
Jezargo
the
comes
how
out on
and
top.
why of it.
As I have tested it with Lydia's follower expansion as well, and they do seem to work together, but you'll
They're
notice that
saying
with them,
dragons
it's higher
have
quality,
returned
and
to
with this one,
Skyrim.
occasionally it sounds
That
robotic.
there.
These innocents see only thieves
There she
and
is,
smugglers.
okay. Of course, now you were saying something before I came up here. In any case, what they say seems like
I tell you, this province is losing its grip.
Jezargo had expected to
And
be
it's
named
become more
Archmage,
brazen every day.
but there is still time.
what they're saying seems to be just kind of random bits of dialogue that the voice actors and actresses did record originally, and to change the frequency at which they talk, you can drop it down. Let's drop it down to 75 and see what that does. I haven't actually used this feature yet, so we'll experience this together. But they don't really seem... They do on occasion kind of comment.
There is skill in magic, there is charm, and there is a strong will. Jezargo will be successful. Of this there
At
is
the
no doubt.
locations that they're on, but it seems to be just the
The
random
Forsworn
dialogue that various
show no
characters with the
mercy.
same voice type use.
Jezargo will go wherever he can to
Also, it
learn
doesn't seem
more.
like that stopped them at all.
Oblivion itself, if need be.
I mean, I don't want to stop them altogether, but just lessen it. Let me drop it down a lot more and see. Drop it way down here. Always make certain that you select back and then exit to lock in your change. Okay, I think that might have done it. But in any
Everyone
case,
has a price and a pain threshold.
I've heard those mages up in Winterhold have been trying to figure out how many dragons there are in Skyrim.
okay, I think it might have just lessened the amount that the two male characters was talking. I don't know, like I said, I haven't tested that. That'd be up to you guys if you do decide to download and install this. I have taken them around to multiple different places with me, including Winterhold, but it seems like they don't really comment location-specific stuff, at least where I've
Skyrim was
taken
not
them.
Jezargo's first choice, but Winterhold is removed from politics, dedicated to study. This is the place for Jezargo to become great.
Kind of more just random stuff like he did there. I have tested this with the previous mods I showcased for the
There is
dialogue
honor
follower
in fighting
expansions, and it was fully compatible in my experience. However, if using them both together, there are times that
The
you'll notice
Greybeards are a
that the
solitary
characters
lot.
speaking, their voice
I
sounds
don't
more
think
higher
they've
quality,
ever ventured
other times a
outside
bit
their
more
monastery.
robotic. In any case, that's going to do it for today's showcase. Just kind of give you a basic taste of what it is. If you're interested in it, download it, give it a try. Thank you to the mod author that ported this to
I think by now
PlayStation.
I've
Thank you to the
killed one
original
of
mod
every
author
living
that
thing in
created it.
Skyrim. Maybe time for a trip to Morrowind.
Maybe time for you and I to have a serious talk. You weren't on Dexter by chance, were you?
Is safe from the Forsworn.
Thanks for watching. Take care.
This has been a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin. Peace out.